All right, so this is going to be the daily recap of my trades this morning in the live trading room that I did on YouTube, as well as just a few additional trades once we went into our live trading room with our subscribers. Okay, so the first trade that you saw me take was on the gold. Let's take a look at the gold chart real quick here. We'll try to make this video fairly quick here. All right, so first trade I entered on the gold, I got in somewhere around, I think it was like 922, 923. I bought it at 1969.40. I did have some higher targets, up around, I think it was 70, let's see, what was it, 72, 73. And then I think I had another one at 75. The idea was to go ahead and get out the first target. That did not happen. I had to end up and reverse, so I went ahead and took a loss on this trade here. I ended up reversing. I did have a lower target down here. I did have additional targets, like I said, when I'm trading gold or I'm trading any of the indices, any of the commodities, any of the indices, I'm going to just go for the first target. So I went ahead and I got out, took my target at 1957. I didn't add, I didn't put, I really didn't add anything to the trade. And it was just really a mishap on my part. Otherwise, I would have, if I'm going to do a reversal, because these hit at such a high rate, then I typically will add to my reversal. I didn't add in this case. So I ended up missing, I actually took a loss for 441 on the gold. Then I took some additional trades. Let's see here. I did also enter the US 2000, which is going to be the mini Russell. Let's see if I can open that up a little bit. If you got the mini Russell, and then what really helped me was a little bit on the natural gas mini Russell, and then of course the bigger one was on the mini NASDAQ. Let's look at that chart real quick here. All right, here's a copy of the mini NASDAQ chart for this morning. Let me just quickly say that the process that I use is something that I've been doing over the last 35 years, my 40-year trading career. I feel what I've done is I've simplified the process. I'm a big believer that in order to be a successful trader, you really need to simplify the process. That's why you don't see a bunch of indicators and stuff on my charts, because the more information you have in front of you, the harder it is to make a decision when it comes to trading. I only have two tools that I use. I have, in this particular case, I'm looking at 4 different patterns, and I wait for them to set up either for a buy or a short. And then the second tool is something that we call the Einstein formula. The Einstein formula, it's a mathematical formula that based on the pattern and the velocity, so to speak, of the price movement, it will give me a target. The accuracy of the target before reversal is going to be anywhere between 72 and 80%, which means that I'm going to hit my target before I hit a reversal point like I did on the gold. And so it's a very simple process. So that's why you don't see a bunch of, the only thing you see here is this VWAP. And it's not something I use in my trading. I like to look at VWAP. A lot of traders do follow it. So I just like to see what the majority of traders are looking at in terms of what do I expect? Do I expect maybe a possible surge in price? Or am I going to see a lot of selling orders coming in? So it's really more helpful when I'm looking at different levels as I do with my stocks. But typically, I'm not concerned about that. When it comes to the levels, I know I have a pretty high accuracy of hitting that first level. So I'll hold out and just wait and see if it hits my target. So that's pretty much what we did. We entered this particular trade. It was a short. We sold the mini NASDAQ at 1026, 1027, I believe it was. You can't see that. It's really hard to see here, but I sold it at 127.45.75. I had a resting order to get out down here at 127.21.75, which was my target. I was in that trade 30 minutes probably, and went down, hit my target, and then I was out. All right. So the only other thing, like I said, is I had a trade on the natural gas, which we're not going to look at. And let's see here. And the other thing, I was long the natural gas. So, in fact, I think I mentioned that in the room, but it took, gosh, I was probably in that trade for over an hour before it finally hit, maybe longer than that. And let's see what else. We did trade we traded the U.S. We traded the U.S. We traded the Russell, the mini Russell. And that also was a short on the mini Russell. So I didn't do a whole lot of trading. And the big reason was because you have the FOMC meeting coming out tomorrow. And a lot of times the markets can get really jittery right before. So I didn't want to really press my luck. And actually the markets were pretty nice. I mean, they were moving really, really nice today. But once again, I really limited. You'll see that in my stock trade today. I really cut back on the amount of stocks that I traded. But it's really because of that. And so once again, we'll do the same thing tomorrow morning until that report comes out. And I really don't have a feel for which way it's going to go, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to watch the action in the morning. And if we have some opportunities, we'll take some really short-term scalps, kind of like we did this morning. And then I'll probably trade maybe the first 2 hours in the morning. And then I'll probably just coast until that meeting hits and let the market digest the report. And then if I see something, maybe the last hour of trading, maybe I'll trade during power hour on the stocks. But besides that, I'm probably just going to let it go. So expecting a fairly light day tomorrow. So anyway, let's look at the stocks real quick and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, let's take a look here. We need to go ahead and let's get this switched over. Both of the trades, let me move this over. Come on. That's a little bit better. All right. So, only had 2 trades now. The trade that I mentioned this morning during the live morning show was NYCB. I got into NYCB somewhere around about 8:52, 8:53. This is all East Coast time. I bought it at 9:19. I did have, once again, two levels up here. Once again, I didn't want to press my luck and go too far with it. And I was going to keep my trading down. I was going to leave it at just 1, but I really liked NVTS. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I won't go into the chart though because it was just a really quick in and out trade. But so I entered at 9:19, around 8:52. Once again, I did have 2 patterns that set up for buys, and that's why I have these 2 different levels up here that Einstein will project, right? So the first level came in at 9:30. Then I had another one at 9:38. And I think after this move, it put me up to 42. But once we went through level 1, just like yesterday, we couldn't get to level 2. I went ahead and I exited right here at 9:28. So that's how I ended up having that really nice gain on NYCB. NVTS, I liked the action. It was late in the afternoon. I really liked the action. I think I sat on that trade for like 30 minutes and it just wasn't going anywhere. So I just went and got out. Made $5. I mean, it's really just kind of a scratch trade. So I entered that and that was it. I mean, that's all I did today on the stock. So I know a lot of you may be having questions about, if this thing's so darn good, I mean, it's, why would I be willing to sell it? Well, I'm going to tell you there's 2 reasons why I'm doing it, and there is a restriction on it, so it's not I'm not selling it like candy to people, okay? So I'm not your typical marketer. I'm a trader. I'm not a marketer. All right. You probably tell by these videos. All right. Uh, that's what I do for a living. All right. I have family history of trading. Gosh, my father traded until he was in the 90s, and I have a brother that's been in, still in it. I've been in it now for 40 years. So long history of traders. But back during the COVID, I got COVID pretty bad. In fact, I ended up in the hospital and I lost 80% of my vision in my right eye. And so a lot of this game is about trading. I mean, it's about vision. It's a visual game. Right? A lot of this is visual. And I realized that if I wanted to continue trading, for some reason, if I can't see anymore, then I can certainly teach what I know, because what I know is unique. None of this that you see here is publicly available. These are not Gann lines or Fibonacci numbers. The patterns I'm talking about are not your candlestick patterns. They're not classical chart patterns like pennants and looking at channels and head and shoulders and all of that stuff. Everything is 100% developed by myself. It's a whole different approach to trading. It's a simplified approach, but at the same time, it is limited. I will not sell this to anybody for commercial purposes. So if you're a broker, I will not sell this to you. It's only for individual traders to trade for themselves and or their families. It's not something that I want distributed. So every purchase does come with a non-disclosure agreement that you have to sign, and I will uphold it. And so if that's something that bothers you, then this probably is not for you. All I can tell you is I've been in this business for 40 years. These two tools that I've developed are the best things I've ever seen. It's proven itself in the market for 40 years, or 35 years. I'm sorry, 35 years. I've been trading for 40 years, but it took me 5 years to discover everything, and I've refined it over the years. But yeah, so it's a very simplified approach, but at the same time, I do not want this distributed out to the masses. So Einstein is going to be something that will eventually be taken off the market. I will continue to market the patterns. All right, the core patterns. I call them the core patterns, which is will continue to be available, but I will put a lock on Einstein at some point, so it will not be available to anybody, disclosure or non-disclosure. So that's the reason why I am teaching this very unique method. So the best way to see whether it works or not is to join me in the morning. Every morning as I call these trades out live and watch these levels and see what I'm talking about. See if what I'm showing you is not exactly what I'm saying live, and you can watch these trades develop. All right. So I encourage you to please join me. If you do have questions when you're in the room, either myself or Glenn, my moderator, will answer your questions. Keep in mind that I am trying to follow several different markets at the same time. So if I get busy and I can't get to your question, and for some reason if Glenn can't answer that during the live chat, during the live broadcast, then best way to get a hold of me is via my website, Innovative Trading Strategies, and shoot me an email and let me know what your question is. If I don't get back to you within a day, please be patient with me. I don't have a full staff of people. Like I said, I am a trader, so I've got a few people that help out with stuff, but I'm focused on my trading. I trade in the morning, trade in the afternoon. I even trade in the evening when I'm trading current. So as far as what I provide is I have a live trading room that's open more hours than anything else that you're probably seen out there. I'm Central Time, so I open around 8, and then I shut it down around 9 p.m. So we're open a long time. So anyway, that being said, I hope you enjoy these recaps. Please help me out. Let me know that you're enjoying these. All right. If you like these recaps and you like these videos, let me know. Please give me a thumbs up. Please share with others. I like to get I'd like you to also subscribe if you would, and please hit that notification bell so we can keep you updated on not only these videos, but any other additional videos that I have coming out. I do from time to time send out little tips and tricks along the way to help you with your trading. So be sure you get on my list so I can keep you informed of those. All right, that's it for me. It's late, so I'm going to get out of here so I can get up in the morning, start all over again. Once again, make sure you join our morning show. We start every morning from 9 to 10. The first hour is available to everybody. So that's 9 to 10 East Coast time on YouTube, Innovative Trading Strategies. And until then, y'all have a good night.